Hi guys, Dr. Jonathan Chentel here. Today I'm going to show you how to make your first game. But before we begin, I would like to politely ask you if you can subscribe to my channel so that you can get new information whenever I release new videos. Hi guys, Dr. Jonathan Chentel here, and today I'm going to show you how to make your first game. So basically we're going to use the easiest tool I ever used, which is called Gamemaker, and it's brought to you by a studio named Yo-Yo Games. So basically you don't know, I assume that you don't know anything yet. So first we're going to go to Google, and when we reach Google we will search for Gamemaker Studio to be more exact. And in the past there was Gamemaker 1, but at the moment the recent version is Gamemaker Studio version 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the Gamemaker site, www.yoyogames.com/gamemaker, and we're going to go to the top right corner which says get Gamemaker. So basically I taught you guys how to do a Google search, because if this layout changes you will know how to get there. So I assume that you don't have much money, so I'm going to go to the free version, and I'm going to make a few tutorials on the free version so you can get a taste of what making your own games feels like. Here you can get Gamemaker Studio 2, or you can get Gamemaker Studio 1.4, but at the moment we're going to download the latest version which is Gamemaker Studio 2, and you will have to log in to download. So I will leave it there and assume that you're going to log in or create your first account so you can log in. Hey guys, we're here on the second part of the video where I assume that you already downloaded Gamemaker Studio 2 and we're going to install it now. So you double click on the icon, and of course going to say yes because we're trying to install Gamemaker Studio 2, and I will choose the English language, and you will have to read all of this. Basically if you don't agree you will need to cancel. So I agree with all of this, and then we go to the next. You select where you want Gamemaker to be installed. If you have another place you can always browse and change the location, and it will say how many spaces available and how many space is required. So assume that you have all of this correctly, you click install. And so I'm gonna pause the video now for when the installation is finished. Welcome back guys, and here you will see the basic GUI. Basically everything is self-explanatory. If you don't understand what new or open means, I think we will need to take some basic computer lessons. But assuming you know what new and open is, we're going to new, which we will create a new project. Clicking on new, you will see drag and drop and Gamemaker language. Since you don't know how to make a game yet and you're wondering how, we're going to go to drag and drop, which is the option for beginners. When we first open it, we will need to create a new project. I will call this first game project. And now you will see a no user interface. So basically a game is made out of images, aka sprites, tile sets, sounds, paths, scripts, shaders and more. But since we're making a basic game so you can get the feel of what making a game feels like, we're going to use the images. We're also going to use objects and rooms, which I will explain along the way what these things are and why they are so important. I'm not going to go into details because you're just trying to see how a game is made. Most of the times when you are searching the internet, you will see how to make a game in 5 minutes, how to make a game in 1 hour, etc. If you don't know how to make a game yet and you want to make a game, believe me, it's not going to take so little time. It will take much studying and much practice. But assuming that you are really passionate about making your own games, I'm going to dive right into it. So, the first thing we will need is an image. And let's say, for example, we want to make a smiley, bounce, right, left, just a moving smiley. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to sprites, and we're going to right click on sprites, and we're going to select create sprite. Basically what we're doing is we're creating an image. Here you can get a preview of the image, and here, let's say for example, you want an animation, you will add multiple images, aka sprites here. Right now we'll just call it sprites because it's the best term to use when we're using Gamemaker. So we're going to double click here so we can edit the picture. After double clicking, I am getting a new layout which I will use to create a smiley. I will select another brush, select the color. Oh, I think that's big. Enter the color, and I'm going to draw a smiley face. Now this smiley is a little deformed, but you get the point. So basically we have our smiley, and we will not need to click to save anywhere, because when you close it, it will save automatically. So let's say for example, if you go back in it and you make, let's say for example, some drastic changes that you're not happy with, if you close it, you're done. You will need to click on Ctrl Z 2 times, which is the shortcut for undo, so that you can undo the images and go back to get your images. So now we're going to close this panel, and we have a sprite. But in game making, when you're making a small game, everything seems so nice, but when you're making a big game, everything can get very cluttered and you can get lost in data fast. So I'm just gonna give you sweet advice from the Dr. Chentel, is always name your sprites correctly. So I'm going to name the sprite SPR, which stands for sprite, and I'm going to name it SPR main face. Notice how I have SPR and then main face, the M in capital and the F in capital, because it's not good practice to insert spaces in your names, and I will explain in another episode why. So we're gonna close it, and everything saves automatically. Now we're going to go to objects and select create object, because an image, a sprite, is just an image and that's it. So you want to give this sprite life. You want it to be able to behave, you want it to be able to have logic, and that is done by attaching an image, a sprite, to an object. As you can see, we only have one sprite at the moment, so we're going to choose SPR main face. Now everything looks good till now, so we're going to go to add event. Now why would you want to add event? Because different actions require different events. So I'm gonna take, for example, you get create. I think itself it's self-evident that when you go to create, the first time the object is created, this event is going to pop up. You got destroy, cleanup, step, alarm, and the likes. I will explain the other ones in another episode. So right now what we're trying to do is that we just want to, as soon as the smile pops up, it will go left or right and off the screen. So we choose create, and when we do this, we get another window. So we double click here on the top of it, and we get a few options. Now we will search for movements. As you can see here, you can select different kinds of movements. So I will right click on it, and I will select use set direction fixed, and let's say for example I add right to it and we close it. And now we will go to a room. Basically what a room is that it is where all the action happens. So let's say for example in my room oops, I forgot to add the name. This is very important. So I will add obj main face. It's not purely necessary, but for work ethic it is extremely important. So I will close it and it automatically saves. Yes guys, we're going to open room 0, which is the first room. We double click on it, and when we do, we get a dark room. So the first thing we want to do is we want to change the background color to, let's say, white. Let's add some, some blue in there. Just adding the blues. That's more like it, baby. So yes, we added a blue color, and the next thing we want to do is that we have an object. So you select the object and you drag it on. The select does not accept the directories of this select approach with oops, sorry, my bad. You see, you'll have to select the instances, and then you can drag the object main face. And when you do, we will see the object here staring at us, because what we just did is we have taken the object and we have added it into the room. So now you haven't made a game yet, but you're starting to get the feel of it. And we're going to do a quick test. I'm going to run it so you can see what you did, because it's very important to know what you did. So basically, as you're staring there, I believe that we haven't added the speed to the object. So we're going to go back and see what is wrong with our object. This user interface sometimes it's a little funny, but when you double click on it, you will finally get to it. Okay, I think we haven't added the speed yet, so I'm going to go to movements again, and I'm going to set the speed. You set speed, and I'm going to add 2. So basically what we're doing here is we have added the direction first, and then we set the speed to 2. So it's going to go in the right direction at speed 2. So let's try this again and see if it works. Oh yes, and it does work. So this is the first taste you got on how to really make a game. And when you become more experienced, all of this drag and drop and buttons, they all become codes. But I always advise everybody to start first with drag and drop, because it's the fast way to learn. I learned it that way, and it's more efficient to the eyes and to the brain. So thank you guys, Dr. Jonathan Chentel here, and I hope you enjoyed this.